Welcome to Pucked Up Hockey Moms, where the arenas are freezing, the group chats are unhinged, and the parenting, well, let's just say we're doing our best. I'm Amanda, hockey mom, chaos wrangler, and proud captain of the Bad Mom Squad.
And I'm Brittany, mom of three, two who play hockey, expert at juggling carpools, cold coffee, and the occasional emotional breakdown in the arena parking lot.
We're here to spill the tea on what it really means to raise hockey kids, from politics in the stands to mental health, bad calls, and everything in between. No filters, no fluff, just the truth. With a side of sarcasm.
And yeah, we're laughing through the madness, because if we didn't, we'd be crying into a damp mitt left in the trunk since last season.
So if you've ever screamed, "Move your feet," while secretly Googling the rules mid-game, you're our people.
This is Pucked Up Hockey Moms.
Let's get into it. Welcome back to Pucked Up Hockey Moms. I'm your host, Amanda, and this week we have with us Melissa, mom of two boys, originally from London, but now living in Berlin, Germany. Welcome, Melissa. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's start a little bit with your background and then how you became a hockey mom.
Well, I grew up in London and I had no clue about hockey. In fact, in the UK, we don't have a massive hockey scene, as you may or may not know.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any idea about the game and until I met my husband.
Mhm.
And in London, I had a job with teenagers. I was a youth worker and I worked with pupils who were in what's called a pupil referral unit. I don't know what you call them, but they're kind of, if you go to your school and you get excluded, as if you get kicked out,
Yeah.
you go to this kind of centre where
Okay.
you get like an intermediate education, and the idea is that you end up trying to get them back into education, because after that it's a slippery slope and a lot of kids end up going to prison or worse,
Yeah.
that's kind of the trajectory. So my job was to try and get these teenagers to look after themselves, find out what they wanted to do, and work with them, give them some dreams and hope. That's what I was
Like
doing.
at-risk youth kind of thing. So they're
Yeah.
integrated back into the system rather than just left on their own.
Exactly. It's and a youth worker is, in the UK anyway, it's not a teacher and it's not a social worker. So the
Okay.
social worker is like somebody who would then deal with all the admin, talk to the police, the families,
Mhm.
and they also decide things like whether the kids go to homes, like they have to go and live with foster families. And the teachers are obviously there to do the curriculum,
Mhm.
which is teaching the subjects. And my job really is to I'm a youth worker. I'm there only for them. And it was the best job in the world, to be honest. I loved it.
So great. And then how did that become integrated with sports for you?
Well, it's interesting because when I moved to Berlin, I didn't know what to do as a job really, because I
Yeah.
was a new mum, and I also did a lot of policy work around youth. So I worked with the governments and the schools and the social workers to try and look at how we work with teenagers.
Hmm.
And I just didn't have the German language to do my job in Germany.
Yeah.
And I had a 2-year, and it just I didn't really know what to do. I just landed in a country. And
Yeah.
actually at that point we didn't know if we'd stay or not. My husband only had a 9-month contract. So I kind of thought, okay, well maybe this is a career break,
Mhm.
and that's it. And I'll just have to wait till my kids are bigger. And that's kind of what's happened. And the sport kind of came in because my husband is very humble, let's
Mhm.
say. He didn't tell us like how good he was when he was young. So he played rollerblade hockey. So I don't know, do you guys have that over there?
Bit. It's
I know
not.
Canada's like full of ice, so why would we do that? That's rubbish.
I'm from like the West Coast, and on the island, we don't have a lot of snow. Like our weather is pretty similar to the UK. Like it rains a
Yeah.
lot, so so we don't have a lot of ice. But the rest of Canada is cold all the time, so there's ice everywhere, right? But like we have what we call ball hockey, so it's just street hockey or floor hockey and stuff. So, but I haven't seen too much roller hockey, but I do know that people play it.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh good. So rollerblade hockey, that my husband used to play that because when we were kids, I don't know if we were about the same age, but I'm 43.
Yeah.
So the Mighty Ducks film was out when we were young,
Love it.
right? It
Favorite
was like,
show.
Exactly, and that film kind of it went through Germany as well in like
Yeah,
a dubbed version, and I
yeah.
don't, and that's a whole other topic about dubbing films with German like accents. But they watched it and they ended up creating a rollerblade because there's not a lot of ice everywhere in our bit of land. My husband's town created a rollerblade club called the Duisburg Ducks.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So the Duisburg Ducks still play today, right? And and my kids also play both play roller hockey as well as my older son playing
Yeah.
ice hockey. But so my kids are playing rollerblade hockey, and in December they will play the Duisburg Ducks, where my husband's cousins' kids are now there. So it's
Yeah.
like the second generation now
That's
gonna like
awesome.
battle it out.
Yeah.
And anyway, so long story short is he started to play rollerblade hockey. Duisburg Ducks was formed. And there's like a whole league. It existed already. And he ended up going to play for his country. He played for Germany.
Oh, wow.
And also they won their local leagues, they won their national leagues, they went to Europe and they won the European League.
So cool.
He played under 18s and he played adults. So he like in one year won 7 titles, which is just incredible. And if it was me, that would probably be something I would have mentioned on like date 1 to impress a girl.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It took him a long time. I know, because he's just like, it happened, it's in the past kind of thing. But in his parents' house, there was this kind of row of trophies, and my
Yeah.
son noticed them. And then they started talking about rollerblade hockey, and he said, "Oh, I would like to try that, Papa." And
Yeah.
he was 8 at the time. It's not longer. It's only a couple of years ago. And we found him a rollerblade club.
Yeah.
And within like 6 months, he'd gone from falling over to really loving it. And then after a year at rollerblade hockey, he was like, I'd like to try ice hockey.
Yeah.
And that's how we got into the sports side of things.
That's crazy. Now, did you not know until your oldest was 8 about this rollerblade hockey?
So I knew that he'd played rollerblade hockey, but I
Okay.
didn't know how good he was. That he was so well titled and you know just a superstar really, like in newspapers and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it may even still be, we don't know, because it was before kind of online stats
Yeah.
and everything, but he may still be the only player who got 7 titles in a year.
That's
And
insane.
he'll cringe if he ever sees this, so I'll never show him this
Perfect.
podcast.
Perfect.
Is he really? He won't tell the club that he plays for. He even coaches the U16P. I was like, "You're like the Mighty Ducks coach now. It's
Oh
like the
my
circle of
gosh.
life.
He
You need to
is.
tell them how good you were." And he's like, "No, don't you dare. Don't want anyone to know." So here I am on the podcast telling all of
That's
Canada.
amazing. And you're just gonna drop it into the skater club, be like, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that's how we got into it from
Yeah.
his dad. But his dad never played ice hockey, and he did actually play as an adult for like a lower tier club when he was at university. But he pretty much, like did that whole thing where topped out, didn't there was nowhere to go with rollerblade hockey. As you know, there's not
Yeah.
like the NHL or no money
Yeah.
in it. Nike wasn't calling, or
Yeah.
Nike, whatever you call it. So he had to get a real job, and that was
Fair.
that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but especially my older son, he loves ice hockey, and
Yeah.
now I'm like, now he's 10, I can see where I can have a little influence on him
Yeah.
with the youth work side of things, and I'm really enjoying that.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
your youngest started playing as well?
So my younger little one, he's 6, he's about to be 7. He's the goalkeeper for the
Oh,
rollerblade hockey, yeah. So he's like the goalie. And it is, I mean, all the gear they wear, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
when they're that small, they look like transformers. It's just like they do, don't they? They look like they're going to turn into like a truck.
Do they wear rollerblades then in their goalie gear as well?
Yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah, the rollerblades as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. I need to go find a YouTube video of rollerblade goalies.
I mean, I make them. I make them for the club. I'll just send you one.
Yeah, perfect. That's great.
Yeah. I'll save you the research.
Even better, even better.
Yeah, even better. Yeah.
Now, do you coach at all? or
The
no?
sports, no, no, I don't coach, but I've I've gone. I know I've listened to parts of your podcast. I've gone through all the different. You know, at the
Yeah,
beginning, you've got to kind of work out how to be because you're still their mum, right? So there's the
yeah,
cringe element of it,
yeah,
and I'm trying to coach them without the emotional bit where I'm like, oh my god, that's my son. Like
yeah,
you can't do that. To like me trying to be too kind of youth worky, like, come on, guys, this is it. Think of like history in the making. Or like, like following your dreams, like being like too OTT and then just being like cringe.
yeah,
But I'm still in that sweet spot where they're 10 and 6, so they still kind of look up to me and they look over when they've scored a goal to see if their
yeah.
parents are watching. They're not like in that teeny phase yet where they
Where
just
they
like
roll
don't.
their eyes.
Yeah, they're like, just drop me and I'll see you at home.
That's
Just drop me to the game and I'll don't come in. I hope
that's
I
cute.
hope that never happens, but
I've
I kind
never
of
gotten that because I think
okay, good.
they'll fear me too much because they know I'll be like, "Oh, hells no. Now I'm gonna show up early and I'm gonna embarrass you guys with some weird dance." Like, yeah, no. I was in labor for 3 days with both of you, so I earned the right to embarrass you. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
they understand that fighting it makes it worse.
I know. And one day if your kid has kids,
Yeah,
especially your
and
daughter, she will totally understand.
they will
You
totally
know.
get it. I know, and at first, when I told them I was doing the podcast, I was like they're like, "Well, can you just, like, maybe not say our names?" I'm like, "That's fine," and then afterwards, they're like, "No, it's fine, you can say our names because I was gonna make up names for them and everything, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"No, that's weird, you can just use our names."
Oh, that's
So,
good. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's cute, and now they're like, "My friends were asking about the podcast," and one of them's like, "Yeah, is your mom still doing that? I wanna do a podcast when I'm old." I'm like, "Oh,
I
thanks."
know. I mean, I'm really proud that you are doing a podcast because
Aw.
my 10-year-old's like, I'm going to get so rich off YouTube if I don't make it as a ice hockey player. I'm going to do YouTube videos, and I'm like, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to talk about Minecraft, and I'm like, bro,
You and
there's no
5
money in
million
it.
other kids.
I know exactly. I like stick to hockey. We're good.
Yeah, I know. It's really sweet that they have those goals, but at the same time, you're like, "Well, let's think of something else."
I know. And then you think, oh, maybe I am just that generation. And like, when in a few more years, no one will watch any television and it will all be on
Yeah,
YouTube. And and maybe I'm stopped this guy from
yeah,
muscling in and finding his feet. So I'm trying not to be that person,
yeah,
who's like, because there are those parents, though, even with the hockey, who are like, it's just for fun. It's very rare that you're going to make it. It's just a sport that's going to get you in a club and get you some skills, but
yeah.
work and do your maths and go be an accountant.
I know, it's hard to balance that, right? Because you wanna support them and you wanna support their passion, but you wanna keep them leveled. But you don't ever really wanna take away their dream, right? So,
Oh, no.
it's hard. We definitely say, "You can do whatever you wanna do, but you have to work hard to get there, and we can't do it for you." So, if you wanna put in the work and you wanna put in the effort, then that's 100% on you to get there. We can't do it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that's just kind of how we frame it and say, "You can do whatever you wanna do, but it's gonna take a lot of work. So if you wanna go out to parties, that's not gonna happen. Like, if you wanna do this, then you can't." Like, so it's just takes sacrifice, and it's up to what you want or willing to sacrifice to get there. And you might not even get there, but if you don't try, you'll never know. And sometimes just trying to get there is the best part of the dream, because if you never try, you'll never know, and you'll always wonder, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Exactly. That's what my husband says. The journey is the reward.
it
And
is.
I need to learn that for my. I only know it in stones. What do you guys do? Pounds? Yeah, in my 15-pound weight loss, perimenopause weight loss goal, I
There
need
you
the
go.
journey to be the reward. But I'm like, this is also this instant bit of chocolate is also like rewarding me right
I
now
know. It's really hard. It's really hard. Like,
because I
I
never had a sport.
yeah,
Amanda, did you? I never
I
had a sport.
basketball. I used basketball. Like, I played basketball because 'cause I'm 6 feet tall. It was basketball or volleyball when you're that tall, and I'm too much of a wuss to use volleyball on my wrists. I did not like it. But my parents played basketball and coached my mom coached my basketball, so that's where I played a team sport, and I did really love it until high school, and girls were mean, and I caved to wanting to have fun. I caved to wanting to go and have fun instead, so I was not on, like, the WNBA career path.
I know. Well, that I never did any sport because I'm also tall, and I just got to a point. I pretty much got to 5 foot. I'm 5'9",
Yep,
and I've been that way since I was 12.
yeah,
So I went from I don't know, in 2 years I kind of became an adult-sized person before I started secondary school. And your boobs hurt, and I had all these stretch marks around my backs of my legs and my hips, and I was like, I don't really. This is all everything's uncomfortable.
yeah,
So
it's
I started
awkward.
smoking cigarettes instead. I was like, I'm just going to smoke cigarettes. I was 14, and the things I did to my body, I would never want my kids to do that now.
Well,
It's
now it's a
actually.
prime example, right? You can tell your kids what not to do because you learned from what you've done, and that's really all we can do as parents. That's all we can do as parents, right? Is learn from our own journey and help steer them
But
with advice.
or from your husband's. So
Yeah,
I said to my husband, I'm so grateful that you had this upbringing because
yeah,
I would never have even thought about
mhm,
hockey. I mean, I would have thought, oh yeah, I'll put them in a football club, in a soccer club, but as a hobby. This hockey is it's a whole other ball game, isn't it?
yeah,
Literally, no pun intended. It's a of a puck game.
yeah.
Like it's so intense, so
It's a very different
committed.
world. Yeah,
It is a world. It's exactly
yeah,
what you said. It's a world, and it's not like you can just drop off to train. I mean, I don't know about where your club is, but there's stuff. Most of if there's not training on the ice, there's athletics training. There's like you've got to think of so many things, which I know you've discovered. You've talked about this in your podcast before, so I
yeah.
won't go over new ground because all your mums are like nodding, going, "Yeah, we know this. This is."
No, that's okay.
But
Not
for
everyone
me,
tunes in at episode 1, right?
Okay, but yeah, right. So for me, I was like, as a London girl who always skipped PE to go sit in the park and smoke a box of fags with her friends. Like
Yeah,
it's not something that I imagined um but I always wanted it for my kids. I always thought this is good. We'll get them help. I want them to eat well. I want them to do a sport.
yeah,
I want them to have something else. And then when my husband sort of told me about his upbringing, and he's pretty much what like I know I'm biased because I'm shagging him, but he's like the most like amazing guy. He's so
yeah,
clever and he's so dedicated and he's such a hard worker and he's so diligent and he's disciplined
yeah.
and all these skills that I never got because my mum was a hippie who also just smoked at home. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do there? We were kind of more intellectual, reading books and
Yeah.
smoking, which is really bad. That doesn't even happen anymore, does it? I mean, kids don't do that anymore, do they? I mean, I
Some
don't
of them
see
do.
any teenagers.
Some of the
Gosh.
teenagers vape in the bathroom at school, so they think their parents don't know, right?
I mean, I told my son I'm really bad like that. I'd love to know your opinion actually, but I show my kid, I Google like really sick children and then I say that kid vape and then they get really scared. And like I
Yeah.
Googled really rotten teeth when they
Yeah,
didn't want to brush their teeth. And I'm like, if you don't brush your teeth, that's how your teeth and like really you can Google image like really rotten,
we do
like, and
that.
that's what will happen.
Yes, yes,
Did you do
and
that?
then when my son was, like, 5 and did not wanna wear a neck guard, my husband Googled the video of the neck guard to the jugular where there's blood on the ice. So we're a little intense like that, yeah. But guess what? My son wore a neck guard all the time. Just
Yeah.
like when he didn't wanna wear a jock to protect his balls, the testicles, my husband definitely showed him what happens when you don't wear that, right? Like, because otherwise kids just think that you say things because you're the parent and you have to say these things. But sometimes there's children that need the facts because they won't just listen to you. They want to see some proof. You're like, okay, well, this is what happens. Like this right here. Here's the facts. Here's a prime example of what happens when you don't do what I'm telling you to.
Yeah,
And then they're like,
exactly.
okay. Just like when we tell you can say drugs are bad, but we drive down to a really poor, like bad area of the unhoused or homeless people encampments where they're visibly on drugs. And you say, this is what happens when you take drugs. It might just be one time and you can overdose, or this is life choices that go down. And I mean, yes, that is someone's family member and that's awful. However, it is a very good visual to children of why not to do it. It might look fun when someone else is enticing them, but this is an end result that you don't want to happen, right?
Oh,
So we're
big, exactly. Yeah. And you're not
yeah,
being arrogant. You're not saying, because,
no,
some parents are like, that would never happen to my kids. You're
no.
actually like, no, it could happen to anybody. And
It
this is what
could
I'm
happen to
showing you.
anybody, anytime.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one moment, one choice, right?
Yeah.
And like one party, one peer pressure. Like we're not
Mm,
oblivious to that. I remember being a youth drinking a ton, right? I'm
yeah.
lucky to be alive. Sometimes I think that. So
Yeah.
it's, we show them that and say, now, would you rather do that or would you rather still be having fun and playing sports and going to college and getting a good job and having a family? And they're like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, exactly. So you have to take your choices into consideration, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's what you say, is that it's the marriage between what you say and then
Yeah.
what they get from when they play, because they're obviously going to get the endorphins, the
Yeah.
oxytocin, that feel good factor,
Yeah.
that really like feeling proud that they did it. I mean,
Yeah.
all that stuff that you get after you exercise is just brilliant, isn't it? And
Yeah.
using your body is absolutely perfect. It
You
can
can feel
backfire
just
though.
as good from that. Like, that feeling will last way longer and have a way better impact on your health than the momentary amount of drugs that just downward spirals your life and doesn't have the positive effect, right? So, yeah,
Absolutely.
but it's an eye-opening real life approach to showing actions consequences, right? It shows the
Mm.
other side and it's not just words coming out of a parent's mouth sometimes. So, yeah, we're a little harsh
No,
on that sometimes, but I feel it helps them make better choices in a party situation or a pressure situation.
absolutely, and I saw those teenagers in real life, right? So
Yeah,
if you look, it's just a sad statistic, but if you look at parents, these people who do take drugs and fall out the system and have like really extreme poverty, they're more like, they still have kids,
yeah,
they still make babies, and
yeah,
those babies still have to go to school, right? And there's so many teenagers who just have it so rough and so difficult. And I
yeah,
saw it with my own eyes. So I did home visits where
yeah,
there was no furniture. There was
yeah,
like one telly and one chair. The boys' room had just a bed in it and a few clothes. There wasn't even a wardrobe.
yeah,
So there is, and that's London. That's supposed to be like a really, one of the biggest economies. I
yeah.
think it's sixth or seventh in the world, right? And it happened in America. It's also one of the richest countries in the world.
Happens everywhere.
And Canada, yeah. I mean, I don't know about Canada. We always look at Canada like you're just little angels. You're the halo on America.
Yeah, no, not so much. We have a ton, I mean, we're pretty expensive to live too, right? And everywhere, there's always going to be the complete bottom and the complete top, right? And I'd say less are in the middle, unfortunately. And it is sad. And you do have cycles that repeat themselves. And so, as much as we can do to help the youth in whatever situation they are to be in sports, because a lot of the schools do sports for free, right? So, when you can get them involved in that, I think it really helped.
Absolutely. And I think hockey is really good because it takes so much discipline. Like, and it takes up a lot of time. It's not just one or two sessions. If you want to do it, you've got to go
Yeah,
training most days in the season, and you've got the
yeah,
games on the weekend. There's almost no, I'll tell you actually the knock on effect. I
yeah,
stop drinking so much. Like, I don't really drink anymore because I
yeah,
used to, before the kids went to hockey, I used to be what that classic mum that would start cooking, open a bottle of wine, have a
yeah,
glass while she's cooking, put the bottle on the table. Me and my husband would finish the wine, and like that would be most nights. COVID was one big piss up, and I did had nothing to do, and the mums would all come round and we go, oh, it's time to drink because
yeah,
gone 12. So the hockey,
yeah,
I drive every day. Have to
yeah,
drive to the ice rink, drive to the training hall. I'm not going to drink, and when I get home, I've got to feed the kids and put them to bed. I mean, it's made me a better person, and
yeah.
my liver is probably very thankful. I lost like 4 pounds just
That's
when I
great.
don't drink.
That's
So
awesome.
happy.
And, you make friends, like, in that community too, right? Like, you just start to meet people that are doing the same thing, so that's pretty cool.
That's not so easy for me because though, so I don't speak full German. So
Yeah.
I can make myself understood for
Yeah.
some, but I'm not there with the kind of camaraderie. It takes time, and
Yeah.
also the German people need time. So we've all
Yeah.
got time. I've got time to learn the language, and they need time before I can talk to them.
To warm up and yeah,
Yeah,
feel a little like an outsider. But, I do find that with certain hockey associations, when you switch from one to the other, I do find sometimes you need time to warm up because they're like, "Well, who are you?" Right?
yeah,
It's like, "We've been here this whole time and you're new." So, sometimes it's like that too because they just need to take some time to warm up to you. Others, they're like, "Come on in," but it just depends, right? So, because everyone's pretty
yeah.
it once you're in it, and then they're just kinda tentative to they kinda watch and see to see how things go.
It's good to
Yeah.
know that it's not just a German thing.
No,
And
yeah.
once you win their hearts and minds by
Yeah.
just taking your time and showing up every week, they really appreciate it.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, and so that's been really like the community side. What I love as well, because I love a new experience, right?
Mhm.
So for me, the best bit, I don't know, you might find this really annoying because your country's really big, but like going to different cities to
Yeah.
do games.
Yeah.
It's like going on holiday. You go on holiday,
Yeah.
like you're going to go to a different place, and it's just brilliant. I'm so happy with that side of it and seeing new people and watching your kid play. I mean, talk
It's
about
fun.
pure joy, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It is. Some people are just get so hung up on it's so expensive, right? But I like to hit back with, well, clearly you don't love your child as much as I do. But that's my favorite one. But really, like watching the joy on your kid's face, no matter if they look like they're a baby giraffe on skates or they're the fastest one out there. Like they have so much fun when they're playing that you have so much fun. And then you get to see all the other kids that are playing and you get joy from them, right? Like just watching them all get better. I don't know if everybody's like that, but I know I'm like that. Like I just get so happy watching the
I
kids
do.
play. Even though
I'm
I'm cheering
buzzing from
loud,
it.
it's so great to watch. Yeah.
Are you one of those mums that goes woo and all that kind of stuff?
Well, my shirt says stand back. This one cheers loud. So I'm very loud, but I'm usually like some people confuse loud with negative. I'm loud and positive. Like I cheer well for them. Like I just am loud.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I also, at the end, I will clap the other team as well. There are kids at the end of the day. There are
Yeah.
some parents that take it really to extremes. They're
Yeah.
like, I'm now going to like, you're like, you're
Yeah.
booing a 10-year-old
Yeah.
kid.
No. Like if we're playing a team and like we're winning like 6 or 7-1 or something, and I just start cheering for the other goalie for good saves. You know what I mean? Like trying to
Yeah.
make sure just because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're obnoxiously cheering as your score goes up and they're not getting any goals, like, yeah, it's fun to win,
Oh,
but you don't need to like ring a cowbell while it's 12-0. Like, so
God. Yeah.
I just cheer for saves for the
I
other
mean,
goal.
she's like, so basically, yeah, when it's like that, you like 12 nothing, and it's horrendous, it's
Yeah.
painful, and I feel so sorry. And it's happened to us though. Like I
Yeah.
remember when my son first started playing, he wasn't winning any games,
No.
he wasn't winning at all. And actually, I loved it. I was like, finally, my son is having hardship because it's in a safe environment, right?
Yes.
And that feeling of losing, that you've tried your best, that you're really defeated, that the other team get to cheer in front of your face. You still have to, I don't know, we knock gloves at the end. I don't know if you
Yep.
do that. You're like, yeah,
Yeah, they do the
okay.
fist pump or whatever at the end, shake hands.
Yeah. So you have to like still say well done to your opponents, and
Yeah.
you're tired, you've been maybe body checked, you're sore, you're definitely a loser. And it's just I have a really, really nice feeling because this quote is a bad day for the ego is a good day for your soul. I
It
love
is.
that quote. And that's what I said. That's what I think. I think my son's soul has
Yeah.
developed when he's
It does,
lost.
because you learn like, I say it all the time, you've probably heard it, like, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win, and it
Yeah.
develops your character, like, how you handle a loss develops your character, and you can't really teach that in other environments, and getting back to, like, working with your at-risk pupils and stuff, this is a safe environment for them to learn it's okay to lose when they might feel like they're losing all the time.
all the
But
time.
then there's people around you that are losing too, and then how you win together after and come together for that, I think is a really great thing to develop for at-risk youth.
Totally agree. And I was thinking about, do you make hockey accessible for somebody? Because part of the people referral unit problems that I had was like attendance, just even
Yeah,
getting through the door. But once I think they get that feeling, there's
yeah,
something about being on the ice. Like my son says, he just feels free.
yeah,
And he said to me, hockey is my life. And I was
yeah,
like, wow. And he meant it, he
yeah,
said it in such a genuine way. And I think that it obviously is giving him everything that he needs. He absolutely loves it. So how do we give that to somebody who's excluded? Because they don't have a hockey mum like you or
yeah,
me that is going to give up their wine to go and drive them. And so how do we do that? How do we orchestrate that kind of
yeah.
commitment? It's really difficult.
I know some communities and some, like in Canada, there are some programs that like donate gear, or you can apply for like sponsorships and stuff every year that like buy the gear for you to go. But I don't know if there's enough. And I feel like there should be more, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I'd love for audience to comment and stuff, or like send in programs that we could put on the website and stuff for resources in whatever country, all the countries, because it's such a great idea to have at risk youth be able to have more access. I know there's a lot of programs where they do soccer and basketball and whatnot, but there is something about hockey that just brings such great respect and camaraderie to it that it would be great to give more access.
Almost like you need an adoptive hockey mum program, like a
Yeah.
foster hockey mum, right? Just
Yeah.
for that service. That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
That would be because I mean,
NHL, you can afford it. You've heard it
yeah,
here right now.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Because I mean, you have billet moms that take in players from other teams, whether it's a junior team or WHL team or whatnot from different associations that live with you and stuff. But you could almost adopt a player type of thing where
You just do the
it just
ferrying to and from,
yeah, yeah, it's almost
And
like a brothers and sisters club that they have. That's a great idea.
you've totally won me on that. I think that
You
would be
need
a great yeah.
Yeah. You should look into trying to do something like that, and I will definitely spread the word and see if, like, there's
Yeah,
more
that would
interest,
be
but
a great idea. I mean,
that is a great
that
program.
was the thing about being like the type of work I did was so
Yeah,
intense. Oh, when I was pregnant with my first son, I got between kids who were having knife fights.
yeah,
So it's like not, it was, it's risky. And I
yeah,
think people know that. And that's why you've got to like be very careful
mhm,
with who you work with. But at the same time, I know that I know those teenagers with the knives. I've worked with them, and deep down, they're just a hurt child that needs a cuddle or an adoptive hockey mum to take them to hockey five
yeah,
times a week.
yeah,
That is the truth of it. They need time and
mhm.
attention, and that's essentially. I wrote a novel about this
Did you?
whole theme,
Love it.
like about gangs and stuff, and
Yeah,
whole point of it was it doesn't matter if if you're really rich and really really posh in the UK, or
mhm,
if you're really poor and on benefits. Doesn't matter where you are. What matters is, do you listen to your children? Do
yeah,
you listen to what they're telling you? Do you take what they say seriously? Do
mhm,
you respect it and do you act on it so they feel heard?
yeah,
And I tell you, it's not a poor problem. It is just a skill set that as adults you
yeah,
may not have got from your parents.
exactly.
You might not have been taught it in school because it's a life skill, right? It's a communication skill. And if you don't give it to them, people don't feel listened to.
So you will
They
seek
kind
it.
of
Oh,
yeah, and they don't become their best. And
yeah,
if you're from the kind of higher echelons of society, you can kind of get by, but you're still invisible, and you
yeah,
don't get systemic help, which sometimes is worse
yeah,
because we like think, oh, if you're really rich, you don't have a problem. Your parents are rich, you don't have a problem. You're never going to get someone like me, a youth worker, coming in to help. unless your parent wants to pay for a private one. I'm available, by the way, if anyone's
Yeah.
listening. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's really difficult for teenagers to do what they love and to be able to know what they love if they don't try out
Mm.
things. And if you think about how would you get teenagers from or young people from what we would call like difficult backgrounds, like who are struggling, to try
Mhm.
hockey. I mean, it's out of all the sports. It's not like football. You just need you can play. You know, you see in Brazil they start playing barefoot. You just need a ball.
Yeah.
You need so much shit.
I know.
And you have to buy it all the time, and they grow out of it,
Yeah.
and it stinks. You can't really sell it. Like
Yeah.
it stinks.
Like, I know you have to take care of it and then wash it to be able to sell it, right? And
Yeah,
it's an access situation, right? And not
it's
everybody has
totally.
access. And people consider it an elitist sport, right? And then the more academies and stuff that are coming into it, the more it removes from the average family that can be able to play it. But I definitely think there's a space to bring in an adopt a player situation
Yeah.
where you could do these types of programs, and there's plenty of wealth in this world that
Oh yeah.
could support a program like this. It's just a matter of
Absolutely.
getting the right hockey moms behind it.
Exactly. But you're absolutely right. And coming full circle to the Mighty Ducks, wasn't
Yeah.
that was what was beautiful about the film, right? It was
Yes.
just average kids
Yeah.
who were all shapes and sizes and races, and they were really crap, but they
Yep.
put the work in, and they had someone believe in them, even if it was reluctant at first. They
Yeah.
had, and they made it.
Yeah. A band of misfits that did well, right? Like, and they weren't
Exactly.
posh ones or anything, and they still did well because, yeah,
Yeah.
someone took time and helped them out, right? So
And we
that's
get a lot of those stories in football, especially in the UK. You
Mhm.
hear a lot of soccer, I mean, soccer football. So we've got these stories where, soccer players, they're just taking buses 2 hours each way to go to training. That,
Yeah.
them parents are kind of poor, and because it doesn't take a lot of money and equipment, it is kicking
Yeah.
the ball around. And then they go from like that to Premier League, which is there's so much money in Premier League football.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't believe. It's like the NHL, it's like the NFL. Once you get to that level, where it's just millions and millions. Like
Yeah.
you go to the toilet to have a poo and you come out, you flush the toilet, and in that time you've just been paid like thousands of dollars per hour. I'm just like, I can't even more than most people would make in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in that time.
The
I'm
time
so
is
jealous.
gold. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I think we're on to something, Amanda.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because like, we just need to find the right people. So, listeners, if you know anyone, you need to hit us up because
Well, I think that it's a policy thing. So like I said, I worked in social policy. I did social policy at LSE, which is a London School of Economics.
yeah,
And everything is policy. You just
yeah,
have to write it in your policy
yeah,
and make it happen. And then you're like obliged to do it. And then there's an action. So if every club just said, okay, we're going to make sure that, like, I don't know, two out of 10 of our 10 of our guys are coming from this area. Of course, they still have to be committed and do the work. It's
yeah,
not like we're trying to disrupt the system with
yeah,
like some guys that are like going to just vape and whatever in the corner. I tell you, most of the teenagers are wonderful. They just need, like I said, time and attention
just
to
need a chance.
exactly what, yeah, a chance and another experience. That's
Yeah,
why you hear like football saved them, or is a big one. Music saved them, or their art saved them.
yeah,
And
martial
that's
arts or anything. Like, there so many things save children is just having a task that keeps them busy and keeps them away from other influences, right? Like,
yeah,
at the end of the day, people just want to be heard, they want to be respected, and they want to be able to give that back. So,
absolutely. And they want to hear, like, with you saying, coming back to you saying about your cheering really loud.
yeah,
Your kids know that
yeah,
is pure support and love, and even if it's embarrassing, there is something deep in their core when they hear you and they see you, that
yeah,
they know you've got their back, and you won't believe what it gives them. Like,
yeah,
I never had it my mum raised me as a single parent, so I didn't have a dad growing up, and for me, my mum was great, but she was really busy with three
yeah,
kids, a mortgage, trying to pay the bills, study, get a job. Like, she was completely upended when she broke up with my dad financially. Like,
Yeah.
her brain wasn't like, oh, I might find out what extracurricular activity Melissa's in and I'll find
Survive.
her an evening class. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is,
Yeah.
some people are just so busy
Yeah.
with life that they need to go to the supermarket, they need to sort this out at work, they didn't get that done, they have to do this and this for the kids' school, that anything on top of that just feels
Too much. Yeah.
like it feels like they're about to, it might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Do you know what I mean? For a lot of
A lot of
parents.
a lot of families are in survival mode, right? And
Yeah.
just being able to cope with everyday stresses is already breaking them, right? So having something where the kids can go and they're not having to take them to all this, it would be huge. So,
Yeah, exactly. I do feel like we're coming back to that
yeah.
whole
Yeah.
adoptive hockey mum. And
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, especially if there would be sponsors for gear and stuff. And then there's quite a lot. I don't know about in Canada, but there's
Mhm.
quite a lot of like university graduates who don't actually have a lot of like money, and they've graduated from university and they don't have any jobs. And
Yeah.
they've got their evenings and weekends, right? Because I couldn't do a job like that with kids. That's the other problem
Yeah.
that I have right now. I could coordinate something like that, but I wouldn't be able to physically do it because I have
Yeah.
my own children. And it wasn't because when I was in my 20s and I was doing the work, youth work happens after school and at weekends.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a parent and you've got children, you've got your kids. So
Yeah.
other kids, you can't even handle your own kids' needs, and other children's needs on top of that. It's way too much of a commitment for people who are already like, on the brink point of not having time. But
Yeah.
there is like there's these old, like young generation who are older, so they're responsible, they're old enough to drive, they've got university degrees, they need some kind of job, their evenings and weekends might be more flexible. I can totally see
Yeah.
that could be, if it was funded properly, it could really work. And coming back to the policy, so you'd have a
Yeah.
club that would say, okay, 2 kids from, I don't know, just not, I don't know how you label them in Canada, but in the UK, we would say sort of underprivileged or
Yeah.
from a
No,
certain wage bracket or socially excluded. I mean, all these labels, I don't really like all of them because
I
but they don't always fit, basically.
yeah. Yeah.
It could be
Yeah, it's
just
hard.
time poor parents, time poor parents. I don't know, like
Yeah.
because you don't want. I know that America are having this discussion right now with this DEI stuff, labeling,
Yeah,
and you don't
labeling
want
hard.
people. Exactly, you don't want people to feel like they're the minority. Those are like the Mighty Ducks kids that have just
Yeah.
come in. So
Yeah.
it's how you pitch that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there would be some roadblocks, I think, but I also think that it's highly possible for anyone motivated enough to take it on, and it just would take policy and slowly working its way through other clubs. So, yeah, I would love to hear viewer suggestions and stuff because I
Oh
think it's
yeah,
something. Yeah.
I would love to as well. And the other thing that's great about hockey is once you're on the ice, it doesn't discriminate, right?
No, it's
That's what I
equal
love
footing.
about it. Yeah, you're either shit or you're good.
Yeah.
No one gives a crap. Like,
Yeah.
you don't, it doesn't matter who your mum and dad are. If
No.
you're scoring goals, if you're defending goals, if you're saving goals, if you're
Yeah.
tackling, if you've got possession, in the moment, it is all that matters is that game, right? And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a level playing field when you get on the ice and like that hockey IQ, like knowing the game and understanding that can't be taught, really. Like you can like understand and watching the game, but it's just one of those skills that it's so unique right now because a lot of players are just looking out for the single skills for themselves and they miss out on the big picture, right? Like we've got a lot of people that are single-minded right now. So if just having a player that can get on that ice and appreciate the whole game is also something that would make them stand out too. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, have you heard of this guy called David Goggins?
No.
There's these stories. I mean,
Yeah.
he wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me, which my husband gave me to kick me up the arse to learn medicine because you get pumped from it, right? Because he
Yeah.
had a really tough childhood. He wasn't necessarily poor, but he was kind of, his dad was pretty cruel with money. It's like the kind of Tina Turner situation where they're stingy and they don't really treat the wife properly.
Yeah.
And he ends up, he's really over, he's a young adult, he's really like massively overweight, he's not doing well, and he sees this, I can tell he just sees an advert to be a Navy SEAL. And he's really like, oh wow. He sees it, right? And he knows that he wants to go for it. He's really fat, he's poor at this point, he's at his lowest ebb. And he just, something clicks and he just sorts his crap out and he starts exercising. He has to lose something ridiculous,
Yeah.
£100 or something by a certain time to make trials or whatever. You have to read the book. It's pretty intense. But I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, there are these teenagers or these young people, these kids, these 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. They must be watching NHL and being like, wow,
Yeah.
wow, this is not just, I'm not just watching this. I am here, body, mind, soul. So I'm locked into this whole thing. And I see it not just as a, like, I'm not just spectating the sport here. I'm
Mhm.
watching my dream being made possible by other players. I
Yeah.
want this. And then being like, well, how's that going to happen? Mum can't afford even pay the gas bill, or like, we're struggling with food, or, I'm never going to get a pair of skates. They're the teenagers that breaks my heart, Amanda.
I know.
I honestly, like, when I worked in London, and you hear people, like young people, telling you their dreams, their parents are either not in a space to hear it or not in a
Yeah.
position to realize it. And it's just heartbreaking. And in my book, like, there's this teacher who's in that position and she wants to help every kid, but she doesn't get paid a lot. And it's
Yeah.
just this heartbreaking situation where you've got people that don't realize their dreams, and it's just their one time on the planet. And
Mhm.
it's just heartbreaking to think that a kid out there has a dream to play hockey and can't. It breaks
Yeah.
my heart.
I know. I know. And I mean, I feel like hockey moms can get so much stuff done. So I think there's a space for it.
I
Absolutely.
didn't understand what a hockey mum was until I became one.
Yeah.
I thought it because we had this, what's her name? She was like a Republican. That was a few years ago. What
Okay.
was she called herself? She said, like, what's the difference between a pit bull and a hockey mum? You know this story? What's her name?
No.
And she said pink lipstick or something, or red, or
Yeah.
lipstick. And she, I mean, I'm not saying that
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone go to Republican, or, but
Yeah. Yeah.
well,
No.
then I thought, God, a pit bull. What is a hockey mum? Like, they're scary. They sound very
Yeah.
scary.
But just don't
But
let
now,
go.
yeah, but now I know, yeah, exactly. You're like hardcore. You're
Yeah.
not scary. Like, you're not going to start pit bull fights. But
No.
it's more like, yeah, you tell me. How
You're,
would you
like,
describe it?
tenacious for your child, right? You watch your kid having the best time. Not always, like, sometimes it's hard and sometimes they get picked on, but it teaches them such resilience and how to get back up. But, like, you want that for them, and you will protect that for them, right? And you will do anything to get them anywhere just so they can have that. And, like, you find a way to balance your schedule to make that happen. You find a way to balance
Mm,
your checkbook to make that happen. I mean, you find a way to create an OnlyFans page. Kidding. To make that happen, right? Like, you do whatever fundraising you have to make that happen because that joy in your child's face is worth it. And the price tag isn't really what you're concentrated on. You're concentrating on what it does for your child. And so, like, really only other hockey parents get that. And people think we're crazy. Yes, but we are passionate about our children and making it all about them, right? And so that's, I think, where all this crazy comes from, and not letting go is because when you watch them out there, there's nothing that can replace that. So it's worth all the cold in the ice and the early mornings and stuff. And it's a community I don't think I would ever give up. So yeah.
I totally agree. And I've only had one. This is my second season in ice
Yeah.
hockey, and I can't tell you how fast the winter went. Like in Berlin, they are Soviet grey winters. People talk about going into like a Berlin depression because of how long and cold and grey the winter is. Like, it's like the
Yeah.
Cold War every winter. And then the summer comes and everyone's like got the techno music out and they're
Yeah.
like happy again. And they're, oh, I'm definitely staying. I don't know why I ever turned my back on you, Berlin. But for me, it was like winter, last winter, it was I was at ice rinks looking at him play. I I was sad when it got hot. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, it's like spring is here. It's too hot for ice. This is going to cost them a lot of money to keep this ice going on. Like I was like, what? I'll get like that now.
It
And
is
then,
gonna
of
affect hockey.
yeah, exactly. This affects it. And I really was happy when the sun was over because I thought, oh, hockey's going to start. It's exciting. It
'Cause you're a
really,
hockey mom now.
I know. I've got really into NHL. Like I watch the
Yeah,
face off because I'm studying retraining to be a Chinese medicine person. So I'm
yeah,
doing acupuncture. Did
yeah.
you watch this face off on Amazon?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah. And then,
Felt
they've
that
got like, sorry.
I felt like behind the scenes and getting to know the teams and stuff, I had a much better appreciation about, like, the playoffs and stuff. Like, I mean, I love playoff hockey, but I don't know, it was great seeing, like, when they're showing opposing teammates that had played for years together. I really enjoyed. Yeah, it was
Did
a
you
good.
notice that they got acupuncture, Amanda, and cupping therapy
I
for their
did see the
injuries?
cupping. I did see the
Yeah.
cupping. Yeah,
I was like, praise the Lord, because as soon as I'm qualified, I'm going to try and get muscle in on. I want to go play, get the. If anyone from the Ice Bears is listening, because they're our hockey team here, and they're league winners, get me in there. I want to cup their butt cheeks. Okay, that's what I want to do. Only because of the point that's on the butt cheek, not because of anything other than that, because it's a
yeah,
very good for the glutes, and
yeah,
circulation. Not
yeah.
for any other reason,
I
Amanda.
know, but I was just listening. That's the best phrase I think I've heard all week.
I
So
want to
thank.
cup their butt cheeks. Yeah. But
I
I
love
love
it.
your idea of an OnlyFans page. I'm just thinking how many mums are going to get their boobs out to help pay for
Yeah, I mean,
disadvantaged
even
kids
just
to
their
go.
feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Is that not like YouTube? I mean, how many people have just got their crusty feet on OnlyFans and they're like making maybe £4 a month
yeah, I don't
because there's
know.
a saturation?
Yeah, it's a running joke, essentially, that, like, that hockey fees are due when the OnlyFans page comes out or whatever, right? Like, just just 'cause you do what you gotta do. There's 0
How
judgment.
much is it, by the way? Just of interest, how much does it cost to? What are the hockey fees like in Canada? Are they by like per year, per month?
They're per year, it just depends, like, minor hockey's anywhere from, like, 800, like, starting fees, like, just for house, I think, or, like, 500, 800 starting Canadian, and then they can be upwards of, like, maybe, like, no, I wanna say 3,000, including, like, rep fees and stuff, but then you've got,
Mm.
like, fundraising for tournaments, but then you've got, like, I don't know, academies and stuff that are anywhere around 20, 30, 40,000 a year.
A lot, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. I know. I looked into because my little boy wants to go. He's like, I want to go pro, mum, and he's his idol is McDavid.
Yeah.
We're already priming his ego. We call him Maxi McDavid
Oh,
because his
I
name's
love it.
Max. He's got my son. I'm not biased though. He's got amazing stick handling.
Good.
Like I said, once he's older and he's got some stride on him and he's ready
Yeah.
to get to body check, he's a bit shy at the moment. But once he gets there, hopefully the only way is up. But he got chat GPT, but he got really disheartened because we Googled how many NHS that's the National Health Service in the
Yeah,
UK.
yeah.
NHL players started. No, what's the oldest they started? And did you know most go on the ice from like 4, 5, 6 years old? And my son obviously got on the ice at
Yeah.
9. And like they said, yeah, there's like 2 players that started. One started at 9 and one started at 12. So in a whole of the NHL, there's only 2 players that started late. I know. He was
It
like,
was
oh.
all
I
sad.
say, yeah, but they're not you, and they don't. You have it in the blood. You've got to look at
Yeah.
your dad. You're gonna do it.
7 titles in 1 year.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, live up to that. Look at those crappy trophies that are
Yeah.
on the shelf.
You could make
They're
it
like,
3, buddy. You could make it 3.
exact. Oh my god, I would. I love it. I'm always like, I want a holiday home. Okay, like you
Yeah.
said, you spend all your money on these kids.
Yeah.
I need to see a return of investment.
Yes.
Didn't come from money. I
Yeah.
don't care if you want to do it, There's enough money in there. They're beautiful. I can see the Ralph Lauren adverts. They've got big lips. They've got these blue eyes. They're gorgeous. They've even got little six packs. The crazy little athletes that they are.
I know.
Like I
Isn't
can
it cute?
totally see it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to pimp you out to all the labels. You honestly, and then
Forget
I need a
Minecraft.
holiday home.
You should be doing stick handling TikToks.
Oh, you should. I know. I'm scared of TikTok, Amanda. I'm not on it. I've heard bad
Yeah.
things. Are you
Well,
on
he can do
TikTok?
reels on Instagram. I have both. I have TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, but you can do it for
I
him. Yeah.
Do you do that with your kids?
Well, they have to be 13 to be on it. So my children are old enough now, so they have their own.
They can
But
do it. They have their
yeah,
own.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about consent, right? So I'm one of these parents that never really even share pictures, and I do hockey because they wear helmets. But
yeah,
I'm forever worried about online privacy, and when they're older, if they're like, "What? How did you do that? Why did you do that?" So I stay away
yeah,
from it. But he's at the age where he's started to watch YouTube, and like I said, he wanted to do
yeah.
Minecraft stuff, and he's like, "I want to be on Instagram. I want to be on YouTube."
I know it's
And
hard. You can do stick
and you're
handling
like, "You."
videos from the neck down, man. It doesn't even have to have his face. It's just showing his hands and
No,
the stick.
I'm not. I mean, what's it called? No Days Off. Have you seen that series, No Days Off?
I
This
haven't
is what
watched it yet.
started it. Okay, I'm going to send you a link. This is what started it. They show kids who are just completely dedicated. All
Yeah,
this I was going to say about, you're here to talk to me about how as a youth worker I motivate my kids. Well, I can tell you all the 2 years of crap slowly, like when I whisper them when they're going into the subconscious sleep, how brilliant they are,
yeah,
and I give them the chat face to face, and when I show them like these documentaries like Face Off, all of that combined, it was less influential than seeing one 9-year-old on No Days Off on like a balance board doing stick handling.
yeah. Not
And when he
crazy.
saw that kid, yeah, he was complete. What did he do? I can show you footage. He's on a balance board filming
Good.
himself with my phone, seeing if he can do it too. If
Yeah,
that's watching other, it's your peer group, isn't it?
yeah,
And that's why they say, and I think that parents know this already, like who your kid hangs out with is really important, because what their parents are like, because
mhm.
that's who is more influential on you, not your own parents. So
Yeah,
if you're in a hockey community, it's great because everybody wants the same thing. If your
yes.
best mate parents just sit and watch telly all day,
I mean, that's all I do now, but that's all I can do.
I'm gonna send you good telly.
Pretty much every British show ever. And yeah, I've seen so much television you would not believe. So it's ridiculous how much television I've seen. I'm very bored of television.
Or read my book. In fact, you know what?
Okay.
I
Send
don't
it to
know.
me.
I will send it to you. You can send me your address, but I will happily give all my profits to your new hockey coordinating adventure.
Your
On
new hockey
camera.
coordinating.
I know, I'm totally gifting that to you, babes. You're the one who needs a project. I need to study medicine. I need to cup the asses of the ice bears, okay? Or like anyone in the Oilers, have me
Yeah.
over. I'm ready. My son's ready he wants to live in Canada. He said it
Yeah.
already.
We'll billet
So
him.
yeah.
We'll billet
Yeah.
him for a while. He can come play here for a bit.
Yeah. What is it like over there?
I mean, it's beautiful. The West Coast is beautiful, but it's similar to England weather. So, yeah, it's pretty similar. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your journey. And I love the
You.
great ideas on here. So, we'll have to get viewers to share more info.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what they've got to say. Maybe it exists in places, the
Exactly.
foster mum,
We'll have to wait and
foster
see.
hockey mums.
Yeah. You'll have to send me a link to your book too so people can read about that because I think that is great to. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us this week on Pucked Up Hockey Moms. We seriously appreciate you listening, laughing, and surviving the hockey mom life right alongside us.
Whether you're in the stands, stuck in carpool, or hiding in the rink bathroom for 5 minutes apiece, we see you and we're right there with you.
This episode was proudly brought to you by AAA Hockey Recruiting, your go-to for player development, showcases, and getting noticed at the next level.
Whether you're aiming for junior, prep, or NCAA, they've got the tools, the know-how, and the hookup. Check them out at AAAHockeyRecruiting.com and tell them the Bad Mom Squad sent you.
Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and stay a little bit pucked up.